Today's Cuban word of the day is mima. Let me give you an example. Mima, ¿me puedes traer un cafecito, por favor? Let me translate. Girly, honey, sweetheart, can you please bring me a coffee? So yesterday we covered mimi. Today we're covering mima. To me, they're very similar, right? It's just another endearing way of referring to someone that you care for. Or I've even seen it people that you don't care, that you just met, but you're just gonna call them honey. Like maybe you're a waitress and you're like, mima, ¿qué quieres que te traiga? Like, hey honey, what would you like to order? So it's just another way of referring to a woman in a kind, endearing way. So today's Cuban word of the day is mima. Cuban word of the day is mimi. Let me give you an example. Mimi, ¿me puedes ayudar a atender al paciente en el cuarto cuadro? Let me translate. Girly pop, my dear, can you please help me assisting the patient in room 4? So I used to work with somebody when I was living in Orlando, where I grew up, and she was very Cuban from Cuba, and she would call everybody Mimi. So Mimi is just another way of being like girly pop, honey. It's a very endearing and sweet way of referring to someone. She was referring to everybody, like new and old patients as Mimi. So I guess it could be used in the context with new people that you just met or people that you've known for a really long time. You guys can let me know in the comments how you think it should be used. If it's with people that you've known for a long time or someone that you just met, but she would call everybody Mimi. So today's Cuban word of the day is Mimi.
Cuban word of the day, and it's coming today from Orlando. Mata. Let me give you an example. Mami, estoy mata después de haber salido anoche. Let me translate. Mom, I'm dead after going out last night. I'm exhausted. I'm dead. So mata, right? We wouldn't say matada, which is how you would spell it, like the correct way. You would say mata. So like the Gen Z that we say I'm dead, that is the Cuban equivalent of Gen Z I'm dead would be mata. Estoy mata.
Today's Cuban word of the day is mija. I know that this word is used in other countries, like Mexicans use a lot of the word mija, and it really is just mi hija, but Cubans don't use it in the sense of like calling someone mi hija, mija. Cubans use it a lot to refer to another woman, another girlie, another girl. Maybe you're saying something to a Cuban, they go, ay mija, es verdad. Ay mijo, es verdad. Mijita, mijito, those are all variations of the word mija. So let me give you an example. Ay mija, ¿viste lo que dijo Juancito? Let me translate. Oh my, like, hey girlie, did you hear what Juancito said? Like, it's a very normal thing to be saying and referring to somebody. Just be like, mija, mija, mijo, mijita, or mijito. So today's Cuban word of the day is mija. Today's Cuban word of the day is tumbao. And we all remember La Negra Tiene Tumbao by Celia Cruz. Now let me give you an example of using the word tumbao. Juanita, ¿te fijaste que ella tiene tremendo tumbao cuando baila? Let me translate. Juanita, did you notice that she has style, rhythm, grace when she dances? So tumbao is another way of saying, rhythm, style. That is the meaning of the word tumbao, and we all know La Negra Tiene Tumbao. And who doesn't want to have tumbao when you're dancing? You want to have tumbao. It's a compliment. So today's Cuban word of the day is tumbao. Today's Cuban word of the day is saya. Let me give you an example. Jennifer, cuando vayamos a la tienda, me acuerda que me tengo que comprar una saya. Let me translate. Jennifer, when we go to the store today, please remind me because I need to buy a skirt. So saya for Cubans is skirt. And let me tell you something, my friend. I didn't grow up around a lot of Hispanics, especially Cubans where I grew up. And when I would say saya, the people that were around me that were Hispanic, they were mainly Venezuelan, had no idea what I was talking about because they call it falda, si no me equivoco. So saya to them es un invento mío. So today's Cuban word of the day is saya. Today's Cuban word of the day is ajustador. Now, let me give you a caveat. I don't doubt that other countries use the word ajustador. I'm just sharing a very typical Cuban word that when I've encountered other people that are not Cuban and I say ajustador, they do not know what I'm talking about. Now, let me give you an example. Jennifer, me tienes que recordar comprarme un ajustador hoy. Let me translate. Jennifer, you have to remind me to buy a bra today. So ajustador is bra. The other words that I've heard growing up from other Latinos would be sostén y brasier. And what I've heard Cubans say, or at least my Cuban family, is ajustador. So today's Cuban word of the day is ajustador. Cuban word of the day, pulóver. But I'm gonna need your help with this one actually, because growing up for me, pulóver was a t-shirt, right? A shirt. But when I Google pulóver in English, pullover, it translates to a sweater, right? And I know that pulóver is a word that Cubans took from the English language and then assimilated it into Cuban Spanish, right? But then why would we not copy it completely and then call our sweaters un pullover instead of, I know most Cubans know pullover as shirt. So this is a very different video for my Cuban word of the day. But I have a question about that porque ahora yo no estoy clara. Because when I look up pull over, like literally pull over together, it's a sweater. But of course Cubans spell it pullover with a B. And I know that for most of us, that's a shirt. That's not a sweater. Entonces, aclárenme, because I don't want to be spreading any misinformation here, but I know that everybody in my family calls un pullover a shirt, not a sweater. Entonces, today's Cuban word of the day is pullover, lo que estamos aquí descifrando, if it is a shirt or a sweater. Let me know.